and I'm just about to do a workout before tea in Finn's bedroom because it's an easier place for me to do it in. It's got the space. But before I do that, I just wanted to come on quickly. I know there's nobody there at the minute, and there were some Q drops. Now we know Q came back, but it's funny because with the whole thing that was happening, I can never say it right, guitar, the football and that, I noticed a symbol, put that out the other day, other people had noticed it, and I was like, looks like DNA. So I didn't realise that Q had dropped some drops yesterday, and my dad sent them to me. So like I said, been at work. So I'm just going to read it out for those who don't know or may have seen it. And the naysayers can keep naysaying, but, you know, it is a thing. So one of them said Q&A, and then it said in time, Q. So I was like, Another one said, be aware of false prophets, as we know. Be aware of false prophets. This was yesterday, by the way. Beware of false prophets. I am not your prophet. You are not a prophet. A prophet, I can't say it. We are not prophets. I can't say that word properly. Focus on the mission. Q. Well, the greatest one I really enjoyed yesterday's drop was this. If you're there, say hi. Was, I'm going to read it out. What is coded in your DNA? Who put it there? Why? Mankind is repressed. We will be repressed no more. Information is knowledge, and knowledge is power. Information is power. Power back to the people. Hi, Junior. How do you protect your DNA? There is a war for your DNA, as a lot of us know. Protect your DNA. Ascension. Q. If you think about it, when a certain thing came in lockdown, asking you to put something up your nose and in your mouth, that's a swab. That only happens when you do a DNA test. Well, a lot of us didn't do that because we sort of knew what was happening. We got shown this before. And also, if you look back at the London, I think I put that up today as well, because I was trying to show someone today, you know, how they do it. The London, what's it called? It's gone out of my head. The Olympics in 2012, which, you know, swap the date, swap it round a little, 2021, with all the nurses dancing in the ceremony and everything, that was showing you what was coming, which did happen. DNA, but you know that one where Q has always said it's biblical. It is, because it's godly. It's a godly plan as well. What is coded in your DNA? God. You know, because we are connected to God. They thrive off that. It's like someone was saying, liquid gold to them is our DNA, because we are connected to source. They're not. So like I said, I love that one. How do you protect it? You don't let people put things in your body that is going to mess with your DNA. And if you didn't notice, when the old Queenie died, they had was it when she died, or was it a birthday? I can't remember which one it was. They had that funny little wiggly thing on the floor. It was supposed to be a lights, but it was quite rubbish, and it was DNA strands. And like I said, the guitar thing that was going on, they had that 8, you know, someone saying Infinity, it wasn't on the side to make it more look like the DNA, because that's what they've been after. They've wanted to destroy you and your connection to source. That is one of the biggest plans ever. So again, I'm going to read it out again for those of you who don't see the Q drops. And by the way, Twitter is going apeshit mad. It's brilliant. All the left are still screaming about Elon. I told you it's happening massive on a daily basis. What's coming out is rolling out. So what is coded in your DNA? Who put it there? Why? Mankind is repressed. We will be repressed no more. Information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Information is power. How do you protect your DNA? There is a war for your DNA, because remember, this is a spiritual war, you know. DNA, protect your DNA, Ascension, Q. There's a lot of people out there that go on about, you can't research information, it's all within. Jesus Christ. Light is information. Information is power. Power back to the people. Knowledge, all the same. And that is what's happening. And Q has always said it's biblical. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why it's biblical as well. If you never had faith in anything, when you had faith in what's happening in good, godly people, because that's how God works through you in your DNA, hopefully igniting that in people. And I do believe the Q movement did ignite a lot of people with that, because I'm telling you now of what I've known within myself and other people, and people who are still waking up now. I bet you any money, even people who say they're atheists, I bet they've prayed. I bet they've prayed for the children. I bet they've prayed for humanity, and they've prayed, you know, for good people to come in. I bet you, some people might not admit it, they have prayed. They've prayed. They've prayed to God. There's a lot more people becoming more connected, reconnected, I should say. You're never disconnected. But like I say, we've been distracted, of people who probably wouldn't talk like that, or even say, you know, say they're atheists, say they're whatever, but are coming back round to connection with God, because it is a biblical plan. And that is an actual fact of what's going on within people. You know, they're coming back to that and using that word as well, because it makes me laugh when people say, I don't mean makes me laugh, but, you know, they'll go, well, I don't believe in God because there's all these diseases, and there's things like, I'll just say these diseases because, you know what YouTube's like. Why would God do that? And there is a book that had a saying in it where someone was having a conversation with God, and they said, why can't you get rid of these diseases? You know, because people say, oh, well, if there was a God, they wouldn't have all these horrible diseases. And the response to that of God saying to this person was, why can't you? Because at the end of the day, they're man-made. They're not God. They're not from God. Diseases are man-made. A lot of people aren't going to like hearing that, but they're man-made when you research. They're man-made. So God didn't make the diseases. They're man-made. Hi, Zal. So I just wanted to put that out there before I start doing my little workout, because it's amazing, like I said, what's coming out. Someone was saying, oh, why that's really weird, you know, the 2012 ceremony at the Olympics in London, it looks like this, it looks like that. I went, yeah, because that's how they put stuff out. That's their truth of putting stuff out in front of your face, but they don't exactly tell you, you know, they're showing you what's coming, and it did. So yeah, and I was saying to my dad on the way home, it's funny, and it's beautiful that people are reconnecting or finding that faith within them and that light, because that's what our DNA does hold. But at the end of the day, I said, I've never not believed in God. May use other words sometimes, but I'm not an atheist. I've never not believed. I've always known there was something there. I've always believed in my guardian angels. I've always known that presence was around me. And on the way home today, there was a time I'll have to tell you about a bit ago, but on the way home, I was watching the stars, and the moon was out, and a crescent moon, and the stars, and they're just so twinkly, and there's gold ones, and it's so lovely. And all of a sudden, this presence came over me, and it was so calming on the way home. Hi, Mike B. So calming on the way home. It was like dreamy, and it's like I sort of forgot. I was walking up the street, and I was just like, oh, this is like, I can't even explain it. It was so, I can't explain it. But I was thinking of that presence. So, who's creeping about? No, it's me oldies. So, yeah, and like I said, Q has always said from the beginning, it's biblical. And the thing also is, Elon has apparently, I've got the picture, I'll have to put it out after, tweeted, what was it now? It was a tweet saying, this is what's by my bedside or something. I can't remember at the minute. I'll put it out after. And it's a picture of a gun and something else and something else. You know, he's trolling as well. And then a picture in the background. Now the gun, you know, people say, oh, guns, you know, guns don't kill people. People do. It's the same thing with money, you know, the money is not evil. It's what people use it for. And the picture in the background now, when I first got into Q, I was over on a channel listening in, and I met a lot of people over there basically, and it was an American channel called We the People 24/7. It's where I used to find the Q drops when it first hit, because they were doing a lot on that. But I moved away from that because there's certain things they wouldn't talk about sometimes. But their picture was the sort of American Civil War picture thing. You'll know what I mean because I'm going to put it up on my community page after with what's his name, the frog thing. Anyway, that was the picture that Elon put up. So I'm like, oh my God. And that was the first ever, I believe, picture or drop Q put up. And that's what Elon put up. So to me, that's saying, and there's 17 as I'm speaking now, 17 people and seven thumbs up. That's hilarious. See? Not a coincidence. Just went down when I said it. And to me, that's sort of saying, maybe Elon was always a white hat. You know, they needed someone in tech. Because to me, they needed certain things like what he's doing now, Starlink and everything. So I'm just loving that the plan is coming together. But like I said, Cuba's always said biblical. It is a godly thing. You'll hear Trump talk a lot about God, and you know, his mum had the Bible, but the like the first testament or something, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, yeah, synchronicity. But you'll know what I mean if you've researched into all that. That's what makes me laugh with people who don't believe in it, because most people who don't, it's not like you have to be into it. They're the people that don't research, don't understand it. We're never there at the beginning. When I saw this picture that Elon put up, it just made me laugh because I remember that picture. It's been used a lot because I was there at the beginning with it. And there was people that come into my chat, I don't know if they're still here now, that were from We the People 24/7 people in the chat. So when I have trolls and naysayers out there and individuals that like to think I don't know what I'm talking about when I do, I just find it really, really funny. It's because their butt hurt because they don't know and they can't see, and they were never there on the beginning of it anyway, of what happened. When that all hit, and it was there to hit for the people to help them. They needed people to see and to have the faith and to see it properly. Spit out my coffee when I saw the tweet. I know. So I got sent it today at work. Can you imagine my face at work? I was like, holy shit. But the biggest thing, like I said, is people have prayed for this. You know, people who have not really maybe thought about, they're not bothered, you know, they've never really thought about, do they believe in God or whatever you call that divine energy. Believe me, people are coming to it, because I think people have been on their knees with this because of how big it is. You know, it's bigger, the picture is massive. Not a lot of us know, you know, we like to think we know, but it's massive, and there'll be more things, but it's just amazing. A great channel to check out, Dolly Human Witness. Yeah. So I just wanted to come on and just chuck that out there, what had gone up on the Q post, and I'll post it in my community page anyway. And Elon is master trolling. It is hilarious. They're going mad. But like I say, when you look all around the world, what's happening in Shanghai, is it? All them places are all kicking off over there because they're still trying to keep them locked down. They're all asking for the president to step down. That's happening all over the world. So like, again, when I say people say there's nothing going on, it's the same as before. That's crap. I don't know where people get that information from sometimes, or they're not looking because they think it doesn't matter when it actually does. And by the way, hi Leafy, I will stand with the thing of, I do take sides on this war, because there's just so many people that say, don't take sides, sit on the fence, do this, do that. I don't do that, because at the end of the day, it is a spiritual war. It is a war against good and evil. It is. You either stand for evil or you don't. If you're standing for evil, you're standing for everything that's happened, you know, the trafficking, the satanic stuff, all that stuff that goes on that people have heard about. It, you know what I mean? I mean, people can say, well, they're not bothered. Well, that's not a nice thing either, is it? You're not bothered, because that's what's got a lot of us into this, the world into this situation of people not being bothered and turning a blind eye. I do take sides, and I take the sides with the patriots, the people of the world that are goodly godly, that are going against it, because by you opening your mouth, you're doing that as well. Light workers, whatever, all the people on the goodly godly side of going against the evil. That's always been, you know, it's not meant to be like this, but they just got in control. No, nothing can stop what's coming, Sammy Ramsey. Exactly. It's nice to see some new names, I think. Yeah, God wins, we win, because we are part of God. Being spiritual, does it mean I have to be biblical? No. Spiritual to me means, whether you know it or not, or like it or not, spiritual, you are part of spirit, you are part of God. That's your connection, it's in your DNA. So it's not like you have to be I've said this before jokingly, you have to be sitting on a mountain somewhere in a loincloth eating nothing, drinking nothing, and that's your holy connection. You were born connected to spirit. You're not disconnected, you've just been distracted. There's a lot of things that go in spiritual communities that is absolute bullshit as well, you know, at the end of the day. But biblical, in a sense, there's missing things out of the Bible, this, that, and the other. When you look at the Bible now in certain ways, because remember, some people have just, I don't even know what the word is. It's a way you can look at the text, but you're like, oh my God, yeah, it's happening now, you know, repeating itself, but not repeating itself because we win this time. We're not being hoodwinked. But biblical to me just means big, biblical, your connection to God. It's in your DNA already anyway. You are spiritual. You come from spirit. End of. You know, it doesn't mean you have to go meditating and do this. I mean, yes, that's brilliant. People do it in so many different ways, but you are already spiritual. You were born from spirit. That's what they've tried to take away. That's what they're trying to disconnect people's connection, because it's powerful. The world is not meant to be the way it's been. You know, people are like, oh God, this horrible world. It's not a horrible world. You do sort of get tested though, and they've still got 17 there, and you get, as we've said, you know, what's the word? Initiations. A lot of us have been through them. But like I said, don't look at others and think, oh, I must be doing this. That must mean I'm spiritual. I have to be so natural and do this and do that, and I have to go to yoga every day. No, you don't. It's about being a good person. And people learn, you know, from the past of like, we've all been hoodwinked, you know. Maybe that wasn't good. I want to be this. You know, you see your future self now of the way you want to be, and that's what you start working on. Yeah, balance, exactly. Cool, thanks, Dolly. I know this in myself, but needed to connect to Bible and know more. Yeah, we've got a Bible that my fella found on the bus years ago. When you look through that, especially, it's not that I've looked through it a lot, but you will see things you're like, oh my God, Q drop 4966. Yeah, breathwork is undeniable. Yeah, breathwork's brilliant. I'm not saying there isn't things that you can't do that spiritual communities do that are rubbish. They do work, but what I'm trying to say is, don't think you're not if you're not doing certain things. There's a lot of people that don't do, say, certain what you'd call spiritual practices, but they're really good people, the kinds of people, the good to people, you know what I mean? So there's that. There's a lot of people out there who have to do things to calm themselves down because they get too angry, and they have to use things to calm themselves down, all stuff like that. It's a bit like that as well. It's good when you learn to do it naturally. But I think you get what I'm saying. You know, and as we're saying, bits in the Bible like Matthew and things like that, you will see things, and when they're read a different way or looked at, you know, because in perception, you can see how they've twisted it to make it look like something else, and this, that, and the other. And like I said, I've got the book, The Lost Gospels of Q, because there's lots of bits that have been taken out. Agreed, we should all be striving to be decent, better humans. That's what we're meant to be doing. You know, you can look at your life and go, do you know what, that really didn't work well, and maybe I was swayed by this and swayed by that, blah, 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 blah. It's about when you're waking up, you're thinking, I want to be more like this. And this is why people, when they're waking up with the Great Awakening, they see it, they go through the horror of it all, and then they're like, they do wake up to that presence of God, and they want to be better people, because we don't want this happening again to our children's children, as in for them to grow up in a world that, the illusion that they put out, we don't need that. We're not being repressed anymore. No. The people say no, and they know this. They always knew there's a percentage of the world that had to wake up. It has to be at the fully high percentage, and they're done for. They know this is what's happening now. But what I'm trying to say is, I've always believed in the presence of God. You can say universe, call it what you want, but I've always believed in that. My dad had lots of books on different things. We were like that as kids. I've never not, you know, when I speak in my mind, see things in my third eye, speak in my mind, I pray to God. I've prayed to God. I've prayed to God with all these situations that have been going on, with what's been going on with the nefarious ones and what they've been up to, especially over the past 5 years, because it's been heartbreaking. And there's certain situations that have happened in the last 2 years where I've really, done that, and great things have come in. And like I said, when I felt that divine presence, I can never explain it because it's just quite unexplainable, but like just a really lovely feeling. It's more than lovely, but yeah, but just wanted to put that out there. Shout out to the chosen ones. Yeah. So, and this is why we believe, they've been doing what they've been doing to take people's DNA, to mess up people's DNA, because they know the highest power is that connection is in our DNA, because the DNA holds, you could say, the God strand, the God, whatever, So it's really brilliant that Q's been putting that up lately. He's talking about the ascension, and I say ascension of consciousness. That's waking up to yourself, waking up to a godly goodly. Hi, Kurt. Wow, what a great time to be alive. That's what Q always said, the greatest time to be alive. There'll be stories written and this and everything. It's amazing. It's amazing. We're at the happier times more with the journey, with the whole thing with Q and everything. It's a part of a godly plan. It's not the be all and end all, with that, but we're more in that, because we've seen it more now. A few years ago, it's like, this is happening, and people are like, no, it's not happening. When you look back, it has, with certain people. Also, I saw the list go up again on Twitter, which is funny. It's not being taken down, about Epstein's Island, and yeah, a lot of people on there we knew about, but and people on there that they said that were on there that are not on there, if you get what I'm saying. So it's brilliant. My phone ringing. Yeah, 11:11. Yeah, a lot of people seeing the numbers again. Like I say, normally when I talk about 17 comes up, and it did before. So yeah, to all the naysayers, keep naysaying, because it's coming out on a daily basis massively. Naysayers only say that when they don't know where to go and look, and they can't see what's going on. And if they're really feeding into mainstream media, like, oh my God, really? But yeah, it's getting biblical. That's what was always said at the beginning, because this is a godly fight, by the way. Yeah, fancy doing Joe Maspo's Plan to Save the World, viewing Janine. What do you mean, viewing Janine? I told you, I was watching that the other day, and I cried. And there's something I'm about to watch in a bit that my dad sent me. My dad went, you'll probably cry, because I was talking about the connection to God. So I'm going to watch that, and then if it's not got music in it, I'll be able to chuck it up on my community page. I love watching that when I'm down. Q, the Plan to Save the World, if you can find it. It's on my community page, the original one. And there was a few more after that, because there was different things like the Mockingbird thing and all that. When Joe Pose put it out, we all know who that voiceover is. That went up millions, saw that before they started taking it down and dropped all the views on it, because we know how they played the game. Hi, Indigo Wings, how are you? Yeah, it's all great. When I watched that, if you're ever feeling a bit down, watch that. It is amazing. And remember, that's all been done now. We're in the next phase, because remember, that was a bit ago when we were all like, thought it was brilliant then. But when you watch it again now, you're like, the people in it and that. But anyway, I'm going to go because my phone's going to die in a minute. Yeah, Q, the Plan to Save the World. I watched it the other day, and I said, I cried. I cried my eyes out. My fellow was like, what's the matter with you? And I was like, it's all right. It's a good thing. It's just very emotional, because I was thinking about everything we've all been through on this journey, especially with the Q thing, the ridicule, this, that, and the other. But I was just thinking of Mr. T and the ridicule he's had at him, on a massive level, by the way, giant level, the weight he's had on his shoulders, what he knows. Oh my God. And the people that are in with it, White Hats, the people who have been involved and seen things we've not seen. Remember, we all think we know stuff, seeing things our eyes would not want to see. We've seen snippets of bits and bobs, and, it's a bit like a horror, but I'm talking about the people who have been in the thick of it. All that, my heart was like, but every day I've always woke up and thought, what a crazy, brilliant world we live in. I never thought at my age of 45 I'd, this was a few years ago when I was in my 40s. I'm 45 now, soon to be 46, would be like, hi, Muddy Kitty. What is this? Would I be thinking I'm in a dream where this crazy stuff's going on, and it's like proper fight, good against evil and all that, and like, oh, it's crazy. And it's the greatest time to be alive. And we've watched it, and we've watched this whole thing, where we said the only thing people haven't got that awaken up now is what we saw as it was going on, what they were doing, what people were fighting about, this, that, and the other, and we've watched it all, and we've watched the plan roll out, and it's been absolutely amazing. There'll be people that never saw what we saw as it was rolling out, and that, to me, I'm very grateful that, you know, I did. It's not nice, but I'm so glad I've seen it from that view and not like not knowing in that sense, if you get what I say, get what I'm saying. Indeed, we have, yeah, and it's been amazing. And everybody who stayed with me from the beginning of that, even from the beginning of where I first, when I wasn't talking about Q and JFK Jr. and all that good stuff, and the many videos I did on JFK Jr., it's amazing, and I know people can see it more now, and it's just brilliant. Interesting journey. Oh, interesting. And don't forget, there's going to be better times coming as it progresses. There's still lots coming out, and you're going to see a lot of people get frantic and this, that, and the other. We all know this. You've been preparing for this. This is what we're being prepared for. But, you know, we're the ones that hold the faith of it, the good people, and a new way, a new world that we build together that's free of all this. So, yeah. Mark Atwood's poem, do that for me. Yeah, they're very good, and I'll have to reread my Q poem because I love that. That was done in the kitchen, and it's still written in its scruffy state. The World Government representatives have been put on notice, Dolly. They have been told that the end of duality is now going to take place. Yeah, well, it's happening anyway. You know, it's brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Dolly, the other day I was looking at your painting and thinking about the painting underneath made me chuckle. Oh, yeah, do you mean your elephant? Yeah, so I can't even remember. But yeah, like I said, thank you for all being with me this journey and continuing to be with this journey. That's why I know I changed my name like the wind, but I've put Janine 17. It rhymes, and 17. That's just what I say all the time. And like I said, I do choose a side. I choose a side. There've been naysayers going, I'm choosing a side. It's not about choosing sides. Ooh, the duality. Ooh, this. I'm not into all that. I do choose a side because at the end of the day, it is a war within, spiritual war. You choose a side. If you want to sit on the fence and you just want to sit there to see what you do, that's your choice. I have a choice, and I choose the good. Easy as. Dude, it's a pleasure to fight the good fight by your side. Yes, thank you, Red Eye Jedi. We're all Jedis. Wouldn't be anywhere else. Thank you. So, Q came to us. Yeah, Q came to us because, yes, there's people who could research. Yes, there's people who've seen things, but there's people who didn't know. And Q had to make sure that came out to the surface to see that you could see that that was happening. And it was. It's not the thing that it was before. Do with that completely different thing because they get mixed up in anonymous and all that. Nothing to do with that. And I'll just say as well, hi Sandy, I'll just say as well, my dad was saying, you know, they put the film out again on Netflix. I think they took it down again, V for Vendetta. Well, I think my dad was saying 2024, remember the 5th of November is it America's election thingy it falls on that? But I, honest to God, think it'll be before 2024 because there's so much going on. But like I said, Elon's doing a fantastic job. I will drop the stuff in my community page after with his picture. You'll only know if you're on Q and you've seen that picture of this. It's like the American Civil War picture that was on things like We the People 24/7 and put out a lot on Q. So if you're into Q, you'll know what I mean by that picture. When I saw that picture of Elon saying it was his bedside cabinet, he's probably joking, but the point was it was like fucking it didn't get any better with the trolling. It's amazing. So I'm in my element. Because, like I said, I've been saying time and time again consistently, it is happening. Things are happening all the time. It's quickening. There's lots going on. It's being dropped more and more now. Since Elon's got Twitter, it's coming out. They can't stop it. And it's really funny as well because the Epstein Island list that a lot of us have seen before, that's gone up on there. I might be able to share on my community page. You look at the celebrities there, they're all the ones that went against Trump. And by the way, he's not on it. Yes, he did go on a plane. He didn't go to the island. So, funny that, isn't it? Not a coincidence. So, yeah. Trolltopia. Oh, God, yeah, Trolltopia. Anyway, well, the trolls are all the lefties and all that. just going to have egg on their face at the end of the day, basically, and they're not liking what they're seeing on Twitter. It's hilarious. Hilarious. Hi, National, how are you? So, yeah, again, thanks for coming in. I've got to go. I've got to make Finn some pancakes. I got the list 2 years ago. Yeah, we've all seen it, but what I'm saying is it's re-gone up on Twitter so people can see it, because obviously they were, you know, censoring. You can put stuff up on there now and people are seeing quite a lot of stuff. They were seeing some fashion woman in, is it Balenciaga, and the Adidas, their lovely advertising, not lovely at all. Yeah, it's all, yeah, they're flushing themselves out now. Well, that's what Q always said, that the media would end up digging their own holes, and I've said this a million times. Let them do it themselves. That's the best plan, and that's what they're doing. Because every time they think something, they put something out, and they're normally wrong about it. So they're just digging themselves a holes, like other people are digging themselves holes, putting themselves more and deeper, and people are beginning to see. So, and that's what I've been saying for a very, very long time. That was the plan anyway, was the mainstream media would last to go down. No one's really going to want to go over, you know, the people that do go over, because they'll be finding the platforms that are telling the truth and people are putting stuff out and they can see and they can make that choice. And like I said, one of the biggest platforms a lot of people are using around the world is Twitter. So, you know, hilarious. Hilarious. And it's brilliant to watch. Muddy Kitty is absolutely fantastic. I've been saying for a long time, and I laugh at haters and trolls that have tried to troll and hate me when I've said that, because they're like, oh, keep saying something's happening, nothing's happening. You always get someone who comments like that, and it's like, well, you know, people with the eyes that can't see. And it's brilliant to watch, and we've said that, but if you know where to go and you know what you're looking at and you can clearly see and clearly understand comms and what people are saying, the communications, you understand it clear as day. And that's how YQ came in, to get people to understand certain things, because it wasn't just understanding how to research, it was understanding symbols, the way they speak, the numbers, which is the language that they put out. Yes, there's people who know this, but there's a lot of people that don't, and the more you see, the more you can't not see when it comes up. And then you see that it's all the time, and it is a thing, and it's not a coincidence. So, you know, no clue, but they will have, yes, no clue, but they will have soon enough. They will, and then they'll be able to see, and this is where I've always said, your mission is to be here for them, to help them understand more. They will do, but they'll have the help, because it's not like they're going to be turning around next to people and nobody's got a clue. It'll be like, did you say something? People are going to know, because people are dotted all around the world that know this. I've said this before. You don't have light workers, people that are waking up. That's what I call everybody anyway. You're a light worker. In one country, say we're all in the UK and we're all just in Manchester. Well, how's that going to... It's no good, is it? People are on this all around the world, doing the light work all around the world. They're ready for their areas. So don't think, oh, I should have been in this area, in this area. It's so spiritual. No, you're right where you need to be for the people in your area, or your family or your friends or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go because I've been yapping on for ages. YouTube 109.17. So yeah, it's cool. Like I said, thanks for all being a part of it and still being a part of it as we go along in the next phases of what's going on now. I think Christmas and New Year are going to be very explosive. I mean, they're explosive now, but do you know what I mean? And again, more and more people can see. So let the naysayers keep naysaying. Let the haters keep hating. Can't stop what's coming, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Oh.
You said yoga.
Yoga? I didn't say yoga, you nutter.
Well, exercise.
Yes, kettlebells.